Most of us grow up being told that we're one of a kind or special, but that's usually our own moms trying to make us feel more content with our lives. However, there are some people that are so unique and bizarre that they'll make you do a double take. Here are 20 people with bizarre body features. We all grow our nails out for the perfect manicure, but Ayanna Williams just took it to a whole new level. She first started growing them out over 25 years ago. Even though it was pretty difficult to do normal everyday things, Ayanna really wanted to break the world record, and that's exactly what she did. At 24 feet (0.7 inches, she broke the world record for the longest nails on a pair of hands. When you first look at Aboli Jarit, you probably just assume she's like any other girl, but that couldn't be further from the truth. While she might seem like a toddler, Aboli is actually 19 years old. She was born with a chronic kidney disease that stunted her growth. Because of this, Aboli is only 3 feet 4 inches in height and feels that nobody takes her serious because of that. Despite all the challenges she has to face every day, Aboli aspires to become a professional singer and dancer in the future. This 1-month-old infant suffers from a very rare congenital disorder called craniofacial duplication. This caused their face to be duplicated right down the middle in a super crazy way. The infant, Lali, was born to a poor family in India. When they were offered special medical treatment for Lali, the family refused and said she was a reincarnation of a Hindu goddess. 8-year-old Muhammad Kaleem from a small village in India suffers from localized gigantism. This caused his hands to grow very large to the point where he struggled to do normal tasks. Fortunately, he recently got a life-changing surgery that reduced the size of his hands quite a lot. He's now able to do regular stuff like he's always wanted to. Because of a very rare skeletal disorder called Ollier disease, Haran Gatari's hands turned into giant claws. Many people from Haran's community completely ignored him and think his claws are the result of witchcraft. Haran was also homeless because he couldn't work at all. Fortunately, he was taken in by a soup seller and has even started getting surgeries for his treatment now. Claudio Varilla de Oliveira was born with his head completely upside down. He suffers from arthrogryposis multiplex congenita, which causes him to have muscular atrophy in his leg muscles. Most of the doctors didn't even think he would live for over 24 hours, but now he's 44 years old and hopes to live even longer. Khadija Khatun was born with a severe facial condition that caused multiple tumors to grow on her face. When she was a kid, the tumor was pretty small, but it grew bigger and bigger as she got older. It got so bad she couldn't even see anymore. She was offered surgery, but Khadija realized the risks were just too high. She has now embraced the tumors as part of herself. 20-year-old Ricardo Benitez was born without his thighs because of a rare condition. Growing up was super hard for him since he didn't feel like he could ever play sports with his friends. But now he's finally come to a realization that he can do all the activities he's always wanted to, just a little differently. Ricardo isn't letting his condition hold him back like he used to and has even completed a marathon. Have you ever heard of the phrase, 2 heads better than one? Well, these conjoined twins are the living proof of it. Joy and Joyce were born with their skulls completely fused together. When the doctors first saw them, they didn't think the two would live for longer than 10 years. But they defied all odds and recently celebrated their 14th birthday. Prabhupada Prasnan was born with moles covering more than 80% of his body. His condition was a complete surprise to his family since no one but him has it. The moles keep growing more and more as he gets older and are slowly covering his whole face. Even though the moles made his life pretty difficult, Prabhupada has now come to accept his moles and is proud of them. Tridante Baez was born without any arms and 1 leg. From the day he was born till now, doctors still have no idea as to why he doesn't have 3 of his limbs. Despite his physical deformities, Baez keeps a positive attitude and has learned to adapt. He also managed to build a huge social media following after his motivational speeches. 6 years old, Deepak Paswan's chest had completely developed with a parasitic twin attached to his chest. He had 8 limbs in total, and most people treated him badly because of it. Some called him the devil, while others said he was the reincarnation of a Hindu god. Back in 2010, he got surgery to remove the extra limbs and is now able to play around like a normal kid. Fu Wengui had suffered all his life because of his extremely long neck. A regular person's cervical vertebrae usually has 7 bones, but he has 10. All of the extra bones put a lot of pressure on all the nerves in his neck. Because of this, he has difficulty walking and is often in pain. Ever since Kim Goodman was just a kid, she's been able to pop her eyes out and make them look huge. She can pop them out whenever she wants and has been invited all across the world just because of this feature. Kim even broke the record for eyes bulging out the furthest, but she revealed that her eyes do fall out of their sockets sometimes. Carlos Rodriguez grew up as any other normal person did. That was until he decided to steal a car at 14 and got into an accident. He hit his head on asphalt and the doctors had to remove a part of his brain just to save his life. So he's literally living with half his brain. You know that feeling of trying to fit into pants that are obviously too small for you? Now imagine trying to squeeze into a pipe. Sounds absurd, right? Well, it's an everyday thing for this woman who's so flexible. She can fit inside basically any tiny space ever. Jay Jaskowski lost his nose because of a rapidly growing cancer. This basically ruined Jay's life and he was constantly afraid of what others thought of him. Fortunately, certified anaplastologist Allison Vest was able to make a prosthetic nose that looked as good as his original one did, if not better. This unfortunate boy was born with multiple different deformities all over his body. The doctors even told his mother to prepare for the worst and didn't expect him to live this long. Out of all of his disabilities, one that stands out the most is how his heart is actually outside his chest, so he has to live his life very carefully, since even a little fall can kill him. Many girls wish to become a real-life Rapunzel, but no one can really grow their hair out that much, right? Well, 16-year-old Neelan Chi Patel made this a reality and even set a record for the longest hair on a teenager. She started growing out her hair when she had a bad experience at the hairdresser when she was just 6 years old. When she got her hair measured, it was around 5 feet 7 inches. Some people do anything to look a certain way, even if it means putting their life on the line. That's exactly what model Pixie Fox did. Fox had the dream of becoming a living cartoon and has had over 200 plastic surgeries done. But her most bizarre one was probably when she got 6 of her ribs removed just so she could have a smaller waist. Alright, which one of these bizarre physical features did you find the craziest? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to TrendJoint, and we'll see you in the next one.